Good evening and welcome to BB&T Point in High Point, North Carolina for Game 2 of the Liberty Division Championship Series. And what a nail-biter last night was. The High Point Rockers drop it 8-7 against the Long Island Ducks in a game where they were just feet away from coming away with the victory. And that's no exaggeration. With 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning, Jared Mitchell's long fly ball to center field missed being a home run by 2 or 3 feet probably, and the Rockers, who had already come back from 7-1 in the course of that ball game, ended up dropping it by a final of 8-7. But it's a new day. We turn the page, new starters, and new hope on the ball field as the Rockers look to even this series tonight. Good evening. I'm Kendrick Fruits. Happy to be here with you as the Rockers and Ducks get set for Game 2. Craig Stem making the start for the High Point Rockers today. He will be facing the former Major Leaguer, former Oakland Athletic, Kansas City Royal, Pittsburgh Pirate, Miami Marlin, and San Francisco Giant, Vin Mazzaro. Mazzaro had a fantastic year for the Long Island Ducks, 11-4 on the year with a 3.61 earned run average. He was one of the mainstays in the Long Island rotation, a guy who they consistently turned to when they needed a big-time victory, and he came through in a big way this year. Craig Stem's pitched pretty well for the Rockers as well, a guy that they picked up in the month of August. Spent the first half of the year with the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs and was a Atlantic League All-Star in 2019. Ended up going to the Mexican League for a time, and by the time his stint there was over, the High Point Rockers snatched him up, and they're glad they did. Craig Stem turned in a couple of really good starts for the Rockers. However, I will say that that 1-2 record that he has with High Point this year, not indicative of the type of pitcher he was. He gave the Rockers a lot of really good outings, and 24 innings in those 4 starts and a great 28-8 strikeout to walk ratio. In fact, the whip under 1, so when you take a look at the kind of year that Craig Stem turned in, you count those starts with the Rockers and the 12 starts he made for Southern Maryland, and it all adds up to a 5-5 season, a 2.89 earned run average over 96 2/3 innings. So Craig Stem is going to be asked to try to get the Rockers back to square one, and that is to a tie series. And you think about it, if the Rockers can pick up a win tonight to tie the series, you go to Long Island, and it's a regular 3-game set, and you're just trying to win 2 out of 3. So, excuse me, while the stakes are certainly a lot higher than a regular season 3-game series, it's nothing out of the ordinary. The Rockers, who have they won the regular season series against the Ducks by a final of 11 wins to the Ducks 8. So this is a very doable task. The Rockers, though, need to, well, I said yesterday, need to get the offense figured out, but you look at what they were able to do, and last night they put up 7 runs. It took until the 7th inning to really get things going, but they picked up their 7 runs, and I'm hoping that translates tonight, and we'll see the offense back and as productive as they were yesterday. Managers heading out to the meeting at the home plate now with the home plate umpires, which, by the way, home plate umpire tonight, Silvio Martinez. Thomas Newsom will be down first base, Bill Worthington at second, and Lindy Hall, who was behind the plate last night, will be the third base umpire. Players finishing up their warm-ups right now. So you look at the game last night and you think about who are the keys for tonight, who are the players to watch, and I think first thing you got to keep an eye on if you're the Rockers is really the bottom of the lineup. When you look at guys like Washington and Frias, who really got a lot done in the from the bottom of the lineup yesterday, those back-to-back triples in the third inning that really hurt John Brownell. You look at those guys and the production that they gave you from that bottom spot. And, if you're Craig Stem, I think what you're looking at is to try to exploit the gaps. That that you've got some really good hitters in this lineup, like Lou Ford, like L.J. Mazzilli, like Debinson Romero, David Washington. But you've got to get some of those other guys. Vladimir Frias 2 hits last night. Steve Lombardozzi had 3 hits, including an extra base hit. And you've got to limit the base runners. John Brownell walked 8 guys yesterday, and the Rockers as a team walked 9. So, if Long Island is going to get their base hits, and they are, you cannot allow guys to get on base via the free pass. And luckily for the Rockers, Craig Stem, a guy who's pretty good at keeping those numbers down through the course of the year. So it'll be up to Craig Stem to eliminate the walks and limit the base hits, scatter them. You can give up base hits when there's guys on base, but you cannot, or you can give them up when the bases are empty, I should say. But, those 2-out base hits with runners on second and third are what come in to bite you. Another thing, how about the Rockers turning 5 double plays yesterday? They came up big behind John Brownell and kept the Rockers really in this game for as long as they could. You get your regular 5-4-3s or a couple 4-6-3s, but, you had your unconventional ones, too. A great play by Michael Russell in shallow right field. He throws on to first to double up the runner. For a double play, Giovanni Alfonso made a fantastic catch at shortstop and was able to throw on to first for a double play of his own. So, if you're the High Point Rockers, you've got great defense behind you. If you're Craig Stem, you've got to limit the damage. And if you're the Rockers offense, you keep doing what you did yesterday. Yes, you were shut out for the first, 6 innings or so of yesterday's game. The 7th inning, your big one, you threaten in the 9th, but don't score. My point being, the last 4 innings offensively for the High Point Rockers yesterday, they were feeling it, and they need that to continue into today's game. In the 7th inning, the first 6 guys reached base before there was even an out recorded. So you need to have that kind of production, that kind of get a hit, next guy, get a hit, next guy, get a hit, next guy. And so just being able to continue that train is the way you're going to pick up runs, have a big inning, and hopefully build yourself a big enough cushion to put yourself in a good position to win this ball game. Another thing, the Rockers have to work walks too. And if you look at last night, they were able to do that. They walked 7 times. So that's kind of a part of the game that has been something that the Rockers have kind of added as the season went on. Weren't necessarily the most disciplined at the plate at the beginning of the year, but as the year went on, you saw them start to work more walks, and kind of coincided with them adding more stolen bases as well through the course of the year. So the Rockers did a fantastic job offensively of giving themselves opportunities. Even the first inning yesterday where they didn't score, they loaded the bases. So you keep giving yourself those opportunities to score, and eventually they will come in. So hopefully we will get a great production night from the offense as well. As the High Point Rockers take the field, everyone's beginning to stand for the national anthem, so we will throw it down to the field now for the national anthem before Game 2 of tonight's Liberty Division Championship Series.
At this time, we ask that you please rise, and gentlemen, please remove your hats as we honor America and those who protect her both at home and abroad. And join us in the singing of our national anthem, performed tonight by Chrissy Austin.
So
Rockers fans, let's hear it for Chrissy Austin.
Right-hander Craig Stem on the mound to begin his warm-up tosses this afternoon. We'll go ahead and give you again his numbers on the year. He pitched 4 games for the High Point Rockers after they acquired him after his stint in the Mexican League was over. Before that, he was a member of the Atlantic League All-Stars with Southern Maryland. So Craig Stem on the year, 5-5, 2.89 earned run average. But for the Rockers, 1-2 with a 3.33 in 24 innings. Overall on the season, 84 strikeouts and 96 innings for the Rockers, though that number came up a lot, 28 strikeouts in 24 innings. His last time out, his final regular season start, a little bit of a rough one for Stem, gave up 4 runs in 6 2/3 innings. But I think the big thing to keep an eye on there is the fact that he still struck out 8 guys despite struggling a little bit in terms of giving up some hits that came at some inopportune times. But the big thing to keep an eye on again for Craig Stem is limiting the walks and keeping the Long Island Ducks off the bases, because the big hits are what's going to get you, as the Rockers saw last night. Let's go ahead and set the batting order for the Long Island Ducks tonight. Ray Fuentes, the center fielder, will lead off. Steve Lombardozzi at second base will bat second. Lou Ford, the designated hitter, hits third. L.J. Mazzilli in left field will bat fourth. Hector Sanchez, the catcher, will hit fifth. Debinson Romero at third base bats sixth. David Washington at first base will bat seventh. Vladimir Frias, who is the shortstop, will bat eighth. And Daniel Fields will be the right fielder and hitting ninth. Rockers switching it up uniform-wise tonight. They went with the road blues yesterday, back to the traditional home whites today. White pants, white jerseys, with the blue numbering and lettering. And stepping in is Ray Fuentes. Was 0 for 2 yesterday with a couple of walks. And the first pitch from Craig Stem chopped on the ground to first, but foul. And we will get things going here at BB&T Point. Should mention the York Revolution won their game yesterday against the Sugarland Skeeters 8-1, so they also have a 1-0 lead in their series. Game 2 tonight for them, starting at 7:35. Craig Stem, a guy who can give you about 100 pitches through 95 in his last start, but can get you up around 105, 110 if necessary. And here is the 0-1 to Fuentes, and that is a called strike, and the count 0-2. Game time temperature 83 degrees. It'll drop down to the mid-70s by the time the evening is over, but we have blue skies, and we will continue to stay that way through the remainder of the ball game. This one's a high pop-up just into shallow center. The shortstop, Giovanni Alfonso, goes back and makes the catch for out number 1. Let's go ahead and set this defense for you. For the Rockers, in left field, it's Quincy Lattimore. Center field, Miles Schroeder. And right field, it's Jared Mitchell. At third base is Hector Gomez. Giovanni Alfonso, the shortstop. Michael Russell plays second. Steven Cardullo is at first. And John Nestor behind the dish. Here's Steve Lombardozzi. He had 2 hits and 2 RBIs last night. And he takes first pitch, strike 1. Had a big double that drove in a couple of runs. And here's the 0-1 swing and a miss. Craig Stem looks good early. A lot of his pitches hitting his spots, and he's getting the Long Island Ducks to chase down, which is telling me that he's got some good movement on his pitches. They look like strikes, and then they're darting out of the zone. Here's the 0-2 to Lombardozzi. Same pitch, and this one's lined deep into right field, but Jared Mitchell going back makes the catch a couple of steps in front of the track for out number 2. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Lou Ford. Ford was 1 for 4 last night with an RBI. A guy who back in 2015 was the MVP of the Atlantic League. former Minnesota Twin, the former San Francisco Giant. And Craig Stem, who works from the third base side of the rubber, deals first pitch to Ford, just missing ball one. Well, we started closer to the normal 6:30 start time today. There was the Game 1 festivities that come with the announcing the entire roster of a team as that pitch in there for a strike, which means that the sun is a little further behind in its course than it was when we started yesterday. So Miles Schroeder in center field will probably have an inning, maybe two, where he will have to deal with the sun out there in center field as that pitch off speed down low, and the count 2-1. Everything else is covered up, though, in shadow. As Ford swings, lines this one foul down the right field side, the count 2-1. Of course, we hit, the first day of fall recently. And Stem will come set. Here is the 2-2 to Ford. Pops this one up. It is going to drift out of play over the third base side. Check that first base side, and the count will remain 2-2. Gave you the Rockers uniforms. Long Island Ducks wearing the gray pants and the black uniforms with the red lettering. Or the orange lettering, excuse me. Kind of looks like the alternate Baltimore Oriole uniforms. Ford chops this one on the ground to second. And Russell picks it up, throws on to first for the final out of the inning. And it's a 1-2-3 top of the first. No score. Your High Point Rockers coming to bat next.
It's T-shirt time in High Point.
Vin Mazzaro, the starting pitcher for the Long Island Ducks. Again, a guy with quite a bit of Major League experience. Spent some time with the Oakland Athletics and the Kansas City Royals the majority of his big league career. With the Oakland A's, came up, was 4-9 as a rookie in 2009. Made 17 starts for the A's. And the next year would follow it up as 6-8 record. Before going on to the Kansas City Royals in 2011, 2012. Bounced around a little bit with Pittsburgh, Miami, and San Francisco before that was the last of his Major League appearances back in 2016. And what a great year he's had for the Long Island Ducks. 11-4, 3.61 earned run average, 39 appearances, 10 starts. And he gets the call today, and his first pitch to Steven Cardulo is in there for a called strike. 92 innings and 84 strikeouts for Vin Mazzaro, with 8 home runs allowed and 27 walks. Cardulo swings, hits this one a weak line drive to shortstop. Vladimir Frias will make the catch for out number 1. We'll give you the rest of the High Point Rockers batting lineup. Jared Mitchell is about to hit now, and then Hector Gomez will bat 3rd. Quincy Lattimore is the cleanup hitter. Richie Schaefer will bat 5th. Michael Russell 6th. Miles Schroeder 7th. John Nestor, the catcher, bats 8th. And Giovanni Alfonso will bat 9th. Jared Mitchell moving up in the batting order today. Again, he's the guy that just missed a walk-off home run by a matter of feet yesterday. And so he moves up to the number 2 spot in the lineup, a spot where we've seen him fairly regularly during his stint here with the Rockers. Again, they picked him up in a midseason trade with the Sugarland Skeeters. He fouls the first pitch off, and the count 0-1. Mazzaro works first base side of the rubber, deals the 0-1 pitch. That's going to miss away, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the Ducks won Game 1 yesterday by a final of 8-7, so both teams offensively should be feeling pretty good about themselves. Mitchell takes strike 2, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rockers, though, a traditionally slow starting offense. It took them until the 6th inning to get on the board, and then they pick up those 6 runs in the 7th inning. So don't be alarmed if it takes them a little while to get things going as Mitchell takes high, and the count is 2-2. Then Mazzaro kicks and delivers the 2-2 to Mitchell. That's up high, and the count goes full to the Rockers' right fielder. Mitchell hit 12 home runs during the course of the regular season. Mazzaro looks in, gets the sign from Sanchez, and here is the 3-2. That's inside, ball 4, so it's a 1-out walk for Jared Mitchell, who cracked the top 10 in the Atlantic League in stolen bases in 2019, so certainly wouldn't be surprised to see if they get Mitchell going. We'll set the defense for you. Left to right in the outfield, L.J. Mazzilli for the Ducks. Center field is Ray Fuentes. Right field, Daniel Fields. He replaces Darby Myers, who was there last night. Third to first, the infield, Debinson Romero at third. Vladimir Frias is at short. Steve Lombardozzi is the second baseman. David Washington is at first base, and Hector Sanchez behind the plate. Pickoff attempt, Jared Mitchell. This one gets away from Washington. Mitchell's going to head down to second, and he takes a long turn as if he were going to head to third, but he thinks better of it. So that'll be an error that will allow Jared Mitchell to go to second base on the pickoff attempt. And so with 1 out, the Rockers have a man in scoring position. The batter is Hector Gomez. He was 1 for 4 last night. Mitchell takes his lead off as second, and Mazzaro comes set. Here's the first pitch to Gomez. Swings, hits a soft liner to Lombardozzi at second. He'll make the catch for out number 2. So 2 soft line drives, both to the middle infield, and there are 2 away in the bottom of the first inning. Quincy Lattimore comes up now. Lattimore 2 for 3, had a solo home run yesterday. Here's the first pitch to Lattimore. That is a called strike. Should mention the error is on the first baseman, David Washington, on the pickoff attempt. Quincy Lattimore, one of 4 Rockers to reach 70 RBIs this year. Hector Gomez led the team with 76. Lattimore and Schaefer both 72. And Steven Cardullo finished the year at an even 70. Here's the 0-1 to Lattimore, and this one's going to stay outside, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Richie Schaefer waits on deck, And Mazzaro comes set. Here's the 1-1. Chopped on the ground towards third. It is a foul ball. And the count now 1-2. Might have got a piece of Quincy Lattimore before it even left the boxes. Debinson Romero was charging for it just in case. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And for the second game in a row, Rockers have the man in scoring position in the first inning. Yesterday, they were not able to capitalize. Here's the 1-2 from Mazzaro. And again, Lattimore fouls at third base side. Not a whole lot of breeze this evening. What little there is going towards left field. Officially listed as heading southwest at 4 miles per hour. And here's the 1-2 to Lattimore. That's in the dirt. Good block there by Sanchez. And the count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, when you get to a playoff series like this, you're going to start seeing a lot of catchers with multiple days behind the plate. This isn't like your regular season where you can give guys a day off now. And, of course, Hector Sanchez, a 2-time World Series MVP with the San Francisco Giants in 2010 and 2012. Here's the 2-2. Lattimore chases, swings, and misses. Strike 3. So Jared Mitchell's walk and advancing to second base on an error did not hurt the Ducks. And we will go to the top of inning number 2. We are scoreless. This is High Point Rockers postseason baseball.
What's up, Rocker fans? I'm hanging out over here in the perch with Christy and Luke, and they're going to try to answer today's Wake Forest Baptist trivia question. We're going to see just how well you guys know this Rockers team. Are you ready? Yeah. All right. Who hit the first home run here at BB&T Point? Was it A, Dante Bichette Jr., C, Tyler Ladendorf, or, B, Tyler Ladendorf, or C, Quincy Lattimore? What do you guys think? They guess A as the correct answer, and that is indeed correct. Dante Bichette Jr. was the first Rocker to hit a home run here at BB&T Point.
High Point has the best fans in baseball. The High Point Rockers, R.H. Behringer Distributing, and Budweiser thank all of the fans who enjoy responsibly and have a safe ride plan. Always drink wiser and enjoy responsibly. Rockers fans, may I have your attention, please? If you own a silver Chevrolet with the license plate BJX5595, your lights are on. Silver Chevrolet BJX5595, your lights are on. Leading off for Long Island, left fielder, number 11, LJ Mazzilli.
Top of the second inning, no score. And Craig Stim's first pitch to LJ Mazzilli fouled off. Mazzilli was 2 for 4 yesterday with a couple of runs batted in. The son of former Baltimore Orioles manager and New York Mets infielder Lee Mazzilli. Mazzilli, an all-star in 1980 with the New York Mets. That pitch down low, and the count is 1-1. I think he might have also played for the Cubs, but don't quote me on that yet. That pitch down low, and the count 2-1. He did not. He went to Texas after he left the Mets. But again, an all-star in a year in which he hit .303, 15 home runs, and 79 batted in. And Mazzilli fouls that one off, and the count is 2-2. Well, the younger Mazzilli had a good year himself. You talk about the All-Star year that his dad had in 1979, but how about the numbers that LJ put up as he hits a high chopper to third? Hector Gomez throws on to first in time, and there's one away, but I'll go ahead and finish that so we don't leave you hanging. Hit 293 with 13 home runs and 74 batted in for the Long Island Ducks this year. So here is two-time World Series champion Hector Sanchez. Sanchez 1 for 3. And Craig Stem will kick and deal. First pitch to Sanchez, showed bunt, pulled back, and it misses for ball 1. And again showing bunt, pulls back again. This one a called strike. And the count now 1-1. Sanchez, of course, the backup to Buster Posey with the San Francisco Giants, got in a little action in the 2010 World Series as this one's popped up into left field. Lattimore is there, and he will make the catch for out number 2. Here's Debinson Romero, the third baseman.
Third baseman, number 21, Debinson Romero.
Romero, the big home run in the 8th inning last night. Once the Rockers scored 6 runs to tie the game, it was Romero's home run that put the Ducks back on top for good. Stem kicks and deals. First pitch to Romero. That is in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. So John Brownell made the start yesterday. Stem obviously today. And the first game in Long Island on Friday is Romero way out in front of that off-speed pitch, and the count 0-2. The start on Friday after a travel day tomorrow will be made by Joe Van Meter. Stem comes set for the 0-2, spikes that one as it gets back to the backstop, but kicks all the way back to home plate umpire Silvio Martinez. So no harm, no foul with the count 1-2. Stem looks in, gets the sign from Nestor. And here is the 1-2 to Romero. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him to chase one down low. So through the first 2 innings, Craig Stem's retired all 6 Long Island Ducks he's faced. We go to the bottom of inning number 2. We are scoreless. This is High Point Rockers postseason baseball.
Brought to you by Circle K. Fans, the Cricket Wireless Row of Honor, located in Section 104, is in recognition of the servicemen and women who put on the uniform of our armed forces and stand ready to defend a grateful nation. Included in these seats is our POW MIAC, which will always remain unused in memory of those that have not come home. At this time, would you please rise if you are currently serving or have served in our armed forces and be recognized as our heroes of the game. We thank you for your service, and thank you to Cricket Wireless for sponsoring the Rockers Row of Honor. Rockers fans, introducing our guest PA announcer for the bottom of the second inning, High Point City Councilwoman Monica Peters.
Bottom of inning number 2, the Rockers have Schaefer, Russell, and Schroeder. That's 5, 6, and 7 coming up to bat It is a scoreless ball game, game 2 of the Liberty Division Championship Series. Winner of this game, or winner of this series, I should say, will go on to the Atlantic League Championship Series. The Long Island Ducks have been there 3 years running, but have not won since 2013. Schaefer swings, smacks this one off of Mazzaro. It goes back to the catcher, Sanchez, and he throws it away into right field. Schaefer's going to coast down to second base. I think it's going to be an error on Sanchez. A good throw gets Schaefer by a step, as Richie Schaefer, not the fleetest of foot. We'll check the North State replay here. Richie Schaefer just absolutely hits a hard line drive. Again, back to Sanchez. We'll see how that one scored. They're going to obviously check on Vin Mazzaro here, but he looks okay. You'll recall yesterday's starter, Darren Downs for the Ducks, got hit by a baseball as well. He took a couple warm-up tosses, then he was good to go. I think they're going to have Darren Downs do a few as well. Or, Vin Mazzaro will do a few. Okay, so it looks like they're going to give Richie Schaefer a base hit and then a throwing error on Hector Sanchez. Well, it looks like Vin Mazzaro checks out. He's good to go. Michael Russell steps in. Russell yesterday 1 for 5 with an RBI. Part of that big 7th inning the Rockers had. And he swings, hits a high chopper to Lombardozzi at second. Nice scoop on the short hop. The throw on to first in time. And that will be out number 1. Great play by Lombardozzi. Richie Schaefer will go to third. And the Rockers will have a man at third with just 1 out. And they'll bring up Miles Schroeder, who drove in a couple yesterday with a big-time base hit in the 9th inning. He doesn't even need a base hit here. A sacrifice fly would give the Rockers a 1-0 lead. Schroeder again batting from the left-handed side. Both teams used quite a lot of the bullpen yesterday, but not necessarily in a way that some guys would be unavailable for today. The only guy I would assume not available out of the bullpen for the Ducks, Cody Mincy, as he went 2 innings for the save. But remember, they've used 5 different pitchers or maybe it was 4 different pitchers in the 7th inning, including starter Darren Downs yesterday. So some of those other relievers they used in that 7th inning should still be pretty fresh today. Mazzaro deals this one. Schroeder smacks this one into left field. That's a base hit. Schaefer will come in to score, and the Rockers take a 1-0 lead in Game 2. Miles Schroeder just going with the pitch and hitting it to left field. There was a little gap between the shortstop Frias and the third baseman Romero, and Schroeder just put it on the ground right in that gap. And his 3rd RBI of the series gives the Rockers a 1-0 lead. That'll bring up John Nestor, the catcher. Nestor hitless yesterday. Schroeder takes his lead off of first. Here's the pitch. And that is a fastball that stays away, ball 1. Yeah, finishing that thought about the usage of the bullpens yesterday as the 0-1 to Nestor gets away from Sanchez, and moving down to second is going to be Miles Schroeder. That should be a passed ball as it bounced off of the glove of Hector Sanchez. But yeah, Joe Iorio only threw 17 pitches in a third of an inning. Smith didn't even record an out through 16 pitches. Rogers threw 6. For the Rockers, Sam Runyon only threw 11, Chase Hutchinson 13, so I would assume they could potentially be available today, although I would not expect Dusty Isaacs to be, as Nestor swings at the high fastball and misses in the count 2-1. So Schroeder, the runner, at second right now. Richie Schaefer currently an unearned run. Here's the pitch. Nestor pops this one up in the infield. Frias, the shortstop, under it, makes the catch for out number 2. That'll bring up Giovanni Alfonso, the shortstop. Alfonso yesterday, 1 for 4. Again, he's a guy that ended up hitting .248 in the regular season, had a fantastic second half. He's looking to keep things going in the bottom of inning number 2. And here's the pitch. In there for a strike, and the count 0-1. Thank you for joining us tonight on YouTube, Spreaker, and My48, channel 48-3. This evening, just a reminder, tonight's broadcast of the High Point Rockers game is copyright property of Sinclair Broadcast Group, Incorporated. Here's the 0-1 to Alfonso. Checks his swing on one down in the turf. They're going to look down to first base for confirmation, but it's easy call there from Thomas Newsom. He did not go. He, of course, being Alfonso, and the count is 1-1. Top of the lineup, Steven Cardulo is waiting on deck. Alfonso swings, rips one down the line, but it's foul. And if Alfonso had straightened that one out, that's a double in the corner, and Schroeder scores easily, but the count is 1-2. Lazaro looks in to get the sign. 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. And the count 1-2 to Alfonso, so he's 1 strike away of getting out of it. Here's the off-speed pitch. Alfonso just gets a piece of it. I think he might have stung his hand a little bit, his right hand, as he immediately came off of the bat with it and flexed it a time or two. Looks to be in a little bit of discomfort. He's walking around behind the right-handed batter's box, but he clearly will continue. The sun is in the throes of its descent here in High Point, as you see some nice purple and pinks across the distance. Again, we mentioned a beautiful night for baseball. Here's the 1-2, and Alfonso pops this one up, and it gets out of play foul down the first base side, and the count will hold at 1-2 as he's battling Vin Mazzaro. He's had his back against the wall with 2 strikes for a couple of pitches now, and he continues to battle in this at-bat. Schroeder takes his lead off of first. Mazzaro comes set from the first base side of the rubber. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got Giovanni to chase on one down and away. That's the final out of the second inning, but the Rockers score 1 on an RBI base hit from Miles Schroeder. It's 1-0. This is High Point Rockers playoff baseball.
The High Point Rockers would like to wish a very special happy rockin' birthday to our super fan, Patty Hayworth. Happy birthday, Patty. Also, happy birthday, McCabridge. Happy birthday, Michael. And happy birthday, Michelangelo. We hope you all enjoy your time at tonight's game, and thank you for spending it with the High Point Rockers. Fans, you spoke and we listened. This postseason, you can skip concession lines by using the Fan Food app. Download the Fan Food app today and use the promo code WIN for $2 off your first order. Using Fan Food, you can satisfy your appetite and enjoy every moment of playoff baseball. Let's rock the playoffs! Leading off for the Ducks, first baseman, number 30, David Washington.
Top of the third, it'll be the bottom three in the lineup for the Long Island Ducks as Washington swings and fouls the first pitch off and loses his bat in the process. The ball goes out of play down the third base side. The bat ends up a couple of feet away from the first base bag. But well away from any Rockers defenders. As you look at the defense right now, the Rockers are expecting Washington to pull. Cardullo is deep near the line. Russell is about in his standard second base position, but at the edge of the grass. Giovanni Alfonso almost standing behind second. And Hector Gomez really positioned more like a shortstop right now than a third baseman. Same thing with the outfield. Plenty of room to run. Plenty of space down the third baseline. And here is the 0-1. That's down low. And the count 1-1. Stem kicks and deals. Here's the 1-1, an off-speed pitch. Just missing. And the count 2-1. Brownell yesterday missed on a lot of really close ones. He was around the zone, but just wasn't quite getting the calls from the automated ball strike system. But Brownell able to get into the seventh yesterday. Here's a fastball from Stem. That in there for a strike. And the count 2-2. The left-handed hitting Washington, who had a triple yesterday. Here's the 2-2 off-speed pitch line to Michael Russell, a sinking liner, but the Rockers' second baseman makes a nice catch for out number one. Good play there by Michael Russell to take away a potential base hit on one that was sinking fast. Here's Vladimir Frias, the shortstop. Frias also had a triple yesterday. There's back-to-back triples in the third inning for the Ducks behind Washington and Frias. Here's the first pitch. Frias swings, slams this one, and that'll get through into right field for a base hit just past Michael Russell. He's heading over to second and thinks better of it. Takes a big turn, but will not test the arm of Jared Mitchell. So that's the first hit of the ball game for the Long Island Ducks. And that will bring up the number 9 hitter, Daniel Fields. Fields did not play in yesterday's ball game. So through the course of the regular season, Daniel Fields, 244 hitter with a couple home runs. Actually hit 14 home runs and 36 RBIs. And a big swing and a miss on the first offering from Stem, and the count is 0-1. Rockers again playing Fields to pull, not quite as extreme as they were for Washington. Stem looks over his shoulder at Frias, now deals the 0-1. That's a fastball, strike at the knees, and quickly Fields finds himself behind at 0-2. Top three, 1-0 High Point in Game 2 of the Liberty Division Championship Series. Curveball stays up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to the number 9 hitter in the Ducks lineup. Really nice crowd for a Wednesday evening, especially considering the fact that it's the playoffs. We're very loud and boisterous yesterday, and the energy here was absolutely incredible. Especially the innings where the Rockers picked up the 6 runs in the 7th inning and then almost won it in the 9th. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Fields. And Stem throws over to first to check on Vladimir Frias. He gets back in safely. The throw was on the home plate side at first. If he had thrown it on the other side, might have had a chance. Stem holds the set. And here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. That's strike 3 as Stem mows down Fields for out number 2. Here's Ray Fuentes, popped out to short, his first at-bat. Another left-handed hitter. You see a lot of lefties in this lineup for the Long Island Ducks. And again, the Rockers expecting him to pull, except for Hector Gomez playing in at third base to get rid of a bunt. Or at least try to eliminate the possibility as the first pitch misses for ball 1. Frias taking a pretty healthy lead over there at first base. Here's the 1-0. And Stem just missing. And 2 balls and no strikes the count to the leadoff man, Fuentes, who's still looking for his first hit of the postseason. 0 for 2 yesterday, 0 for 1 today. Did walk twice yesterday, though, and scored a run. The 2-0 just missing again, and it's 3-0. The 3-0, they give Fuentes the green light, and he swings and fouls this one up out of play. And the count 3 balls and 1 strike. As he steps out now to adjust his batting gloves. Frias taking his lead off of first. And Stem will come set at the belt. And delivers the 3-1. This one a strike. Fuentes had thrown his bat towards the dugout and was about to head to first base, but Silverio Martinez says you'll still need that. That's strike 2. Great job by Stem battling back from a 3-0 count. It's now 3-2. Cardullo backing up at first. Now here's the 3-2 with the runner going. It's fouled up out of play. And Frias will have to return to first. Top of the third, Craig Stem just threw pitch number 40. So at the rate he's going, he's tracking pretty well to get through 7. Still a lot of baseball to be played, though. And another payoff pitch. Runner goes. Here's the 3-2. That one just missing. That looked good. Nestor started to head towards the dugout, and a couple Rocker defenders did too. But that's ball 4. And the inning will continue. Frias will head down to second. And Steve Lombardozzi, the hitter, flied out to right field his first at-bat. First pitch to Lombardozzi. That's in there, called strike at the knees, and the count is 0-1. Craig Stem trying to get through this third inning. There's 2 aboard, but there are 2 outs. And here's the 0-1 to Lombardozzi. That just missing, and the count is 1-1. This one swung on, lined into right center field. That'll get down, and it's going to get past Miles Schroeder. Both runs will score. Frias is in. Fuentes is in. Heading to third base is Lombardozzi. He is safe with a triple. He slides head first, and the Long Island Ducks have grabbed the lead 2-1 in the top of the third inning. He went with that pitch and drove it into the gap. And the Ducks have the lead. You think about that walk to Fuentes now and how close that 3-2 pitch was. The Rockers thought they had strike 3 to get out of this inning, but the umpire said it missed for ball 4, and you allow the inning to continue. And the next guy up burns you. Here's Lou Ford. And the first pitch, a fastball that misses ball 1. Ford grounded out to second his first time through. So Craig Stem retired the first 6 Long Island Ducks he faced tonight. There's a strike. Actually retired the first 7. But has run into a little bit of trouble in the top of the third. And here's the pitch, fastball, chopped weakly on the ground towards first. It's foul, and the count is 1-2. Lombardozzi, the runner at third. He just tripled and drove in a pair. And Craig Stem comes set. Here's the 1-2 to Lou Ford. Fastball swung on and hit up the middle. That's a base hit. And Lombardozzi will score. It is 3-1 Long Island. That will bring up the cleanup hitter, L.J. Mazzilli, grounded out to third his first time up. Thought for a moment Stem was going to knock it down with his foot. It was a daisy cutter right up the middle. Yes, I understand. You can't have daisies on a turf field, but just humor me on that one. Off-speed pitch upstairs, and the count 1-0. Lou Ford on first base. He won't run. And a big hack there from Mazzilli. Swing and a miss, and the count is 1 ball, 1 strike. In the bottom of the third, the Rockers will have the top of the lineup as they now have a 2-run deficit to claw out of as this pitch down low, and the count is 2-1. Stem shakes off Nestor once, now comes set, ready to deliver the 2-1. Swung on, and that's hit a weak line drive. Michael Russell has to knock it down. Now throws on the run to first base. Good job by Michael Russell staying with that one as it dropped right in front of him. He knocked it down with his glove, bobbled it again, and then finally threw on to first for the final out of the inning. But not before 3 runs come in to score. And again, it's a triple that hurts the Rockers. A 2-run triple by Steve Lombardozzi and a base hit by Lou Ford. It is 3-1 in favor of the Ducks. This is High Point Rockers playoff baseball.
Others, it's the Simba Care.
Bottom of the third, top of the lineup for the High Point Rockers, who took the lead last inning on a base hit by Miles Schroeder and now find themselves down by 2 after a 3-run top of the third by the Ducks. Steven Cardulo lined out weakly to short his first at-bat. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that stays high from Vin Mazzaro, ball 1. So it's Cardulo, Mitchell, and Gomez, the 3 scheduled hitters. And here's the 1-0. That's a called strike. And the count 1-1. Well, I'll tell you what, even though the Rockers are down right now, absolutely would tell you as a fan, do not leave this game early. This one down low in the count 2-1. You've seen the magic the Rockers have made throughout the season, and not only that, but made things very exciting yesterday as well. 2 balls and a strike to Cardulo. He's in a hitter's count, and he is, as they say, quite a good hitter. Here's the 2-1. That's down and away, the off-speed pitch, and it's 3 balls and a strike. Defense pretty much playing Cardulo straight up, although the third baseman, Romero, playing a little closer to the line. And here's the 3-1. That's down low. No, it's a called strike at the knees or in the area of the knees, and the count is full. So Cardulo comes back, and here is the payoff pitch from Vin Mazzaro. The righty kicks and deals 3-2. That's down in the turf, ball 4. And so Cardulo does get his walk just a pitch later than he initially thought. Leadoff man aboard for Jared Mitchell, who walked in his first at-bat. Second walk of the game for the Rockers so far. Mentioned that they walked 7 times last night. Cardulo has decent speed at first base. Mitchell's got very good speed at the plate. And here's the first pitch to Mitchell, and that's going to stay away, ball 1, as that one was caught in the right-handed batter's box. Mitchell, of course, left-handed hitter. Pickoff attempt over to first base. Cardulo back in safely. Cardulo in the course of the regular season stole 20 bases. One of 5 Rockers to do so. That one misses 2-0. Cardulo had 20. Gomez had 20. One of 4 Rockers to do that, I should say. Mitchell had 32, but 10 of them with the Rockers. And Michael Russell, 21 steals in 22 attempts. So a great base running year for Michael Russell. Here's the 2-0 to Mitchell. Swings and hits a towering foul ball in third base side. Might be playable. A long run, a slide, and not caught by L.J. Mazzilli in the Long Island bullpen. Had a long way to go, and thought he had a chance, though, as that ball was just hanging up there in the fading light. Cardulo again, the runner at first base. 2 balls and a strike now to Jared Mitchell. Rockers down by a pair, but still plenty of baseball to go tonight. We're just in the bottom of the third. And here's the 2-1. Mitchell shows bunt, pulls back, runner goes. Here's the throw down to second. Not in time. A stolen base for Steven Cardulo. And that is the first High Point Rockers stolen base in postseason history. So yesterday, Quincy Lattimore with the first base hit in Rocker playoff history, the first home run in Rocker playoff history, and then Cardullo with the stolen base. Got a great jump. And it was a good throw from Sanchez, but it was just late. Cardullo's hand just got in under the tag of Vladimir Frias. Here's a 2-2 to Mitchell. Slams a line drive foul. And the count stays 2-2. But now with nobody out in the inning, the Rockers do have a man in scoring position. In fact, they have had a man in scoring position all 3 innings thus far. Only have 1 run to show for it, but the opportunities are being presented. And if the Rockers can keep that going through the course of the night, they'll be giving themselves plenty of opportunities to win this ball game. The 2-2 is strike 3 called. Looks like maybe a hard slider from Mazzaro, but Mitchell could not pull the trigger, so he's down on strikes, out number 1. And that'll bring up Hector Gomez, who hit a soft line drive to Lombardozzi at second, his first at-bat. 1 for 5 in the postseason after a .290 plus batting average in the regular campaign. Of course, what you did in the regular season doesn't really matter now. It's about what you can do here come postseason play. Cardullo dancing around off of third base. Almost looked like he was going to run with Mazzaro staring straight at him, but then he scampered back to second. Vinny Mazzaro is at 41 pitches. Craig Stem is at 52. Mazzaro holding the set for a long time. Now delivers first pitch to Gomez, and that is a fastball called strike, and the count is 0-1. Quincy Lattimore waits on deck, has the Rockers' only home run in postseason history. It's kind of a running joke with Kevin McMahon, who, of course, was the broadcaster here for the majority of the season. Talking about the fact, since it is the inaugural year for the Rockers, there's a lot of firsts, and you could have an all-time leader in some different category every night. Well, that kind of effectively starts over now as you're in the postseason. You played 1 game in playoff history, so a lot of guys could set team records through the course of today and tomorrow and Friday and however long this series goes. Mazzaro's set. Here is the 0-1 to Gomez. Swings, hits this one, a soft ground ball to third. Romero will have to look Cardullo back to first and throws on to, Cardullo back to second, throws to first, I should say. And Gomez is out. Cardullo has to hold. So here is Quincy Lattimore. 2 outs now in the bottom of inning number 3. Rockers down by 2, just trying to get one back. With a runner on second. Lattimore, a couple of hits yesterday. Struck out his first at-bat today. Is this one in the turf? But Hector Sanchez is able to keep it right there. And Cardullo cannot advance, so the count is 1-0, and a runner will stay at second. Cardullo taking his lead off a second. Here's the 1-0 to Gomez. That is a strike at the knees. And the count 1-1. Hard to believe we have almost made it to October. Major League Baseball playoffs right around the corner. Atlantic League playoffs are here. Lattimore hits a slow roller to short. Frias picks it up. Off balance throw to first in time. They get Lattimore by a step. And that's the final out of the inning. So once again, the Rockers get a man aboard, but cannot bring him in to score. We go to the 4th. It is 3-1 in favor of the visiting Long Island Ducks.
Each game, 1 lucky fan will be picked for our gem of the game and win a gift card courtesy of Simon Jewelers. The lucky seat for tonight's gem of the game is section 105, row E, seat 9. That's section 105, row E, seat 9. You've won a gift card courtesy of Simon Jewelers. Leading off for Long Island, the catcher, number 37, Hector Sanchez.
Top of the fourth inning, Hector Sanchez, the catcher, leads off. Then it's Debinson Romero and David Washington. First pitch to Sanchez will miss for ball one. So obviously this is the Liberty Division Championship Series. The Revolution and the Skeeters playing in the Freedom Division Championship Series. That pitch down low, 2-0. The York Revolution took game one yesterday by a final of 8-1. They just got underway here tonight in game two. No scores. This one is lined foul, 2-1. Rockers are playing Sanchez to pull. That Revolution Skeeters game, starters Minor versus Pimentel. We'll see if the Sugarland Skeeters can do what no team has done in the Atlantic League this year, and that is figure out Telvin Nash. The 2-1 just missing. It's now 3 balls and a strike to the number 5 hitter in the Long Island lineup. And Stem deals the 3-1. This one is chopped foul down the first base side as it drifts towards the first base coach, which is actually a player for the Long Island Ducks, Clint Freeman. Did not see him yesterday. Is not in the lineup today. But still seeing the field as the first base coach this evening. Wally Backman, the manager, is the coach down the third base line. 3 balls, 2 strikes, the count to Sanchez. Here's the pitch from Stem. Swung on a hard line drive. Gomez picks it up on a hop, spins, throws to first in time. What a scoop by Cardulo. And what a play by Hector Gomez. A hot shot that he picked up on a hop. And he spun around and threw on to first. What a fantastic job there by Hector Gomez. You don't have a whole lot of time to react to that play, especially because that's a tailing line drive.
21, Debinson Romero.
But a great play all around by Hector Gomez. That'll bring up Debinson Romero. He struck out his first at-bat. And the first pitch to Romero down low. It's a called strike. And the count is 0-1. Stem looking to bounce back after a rough third inning. It's been the third inning that's hurt the Rockers in this series. That one a strike at the knees, count 0-2. They gave up 4 in the third yesterday and found themselves playing from behind the majority of the evening. They give up 3 in the third tonight. Here's the 0-2. Stem spikes that fastball in the turf, and the count now 1-2. Again, when Game 3 shifts to Long Island on Friday, Joe Van Meter will make the start for the Rockers. The Long Island Ducks have not announced their starters for the next 3 games of the series. Here's a chopper to short. Takes a nice hop for Alfonso. The throw on to first in time. That's out number 2. Jamie Keefe announced his starters for the remainder of the series. Obviously, Games 4 and 5 are of the if necessary variety, but it's Joe Van Meter tomorrow. Matt Sergey is scheduled to throw on Saturday, and then Sunday's starter would be the Game 1 starter of this series, John Brownell. So here's David Washington lined out to second, his first at-bat. And the Rockers, a extreme defensive movement. First pitch down low, the count 1-0. Again, Hector Gomez, the third baseman, is basically playing where Giovanni Alfonso, the shortstop, usually plays. Washington, a big off-balance swing, and the count is 1-1. And, you talk about it's not really a shift. Everybody is still in the correct order and everything, but, you talk about when you see a big shift in positioning. One example that comes to mind is this one is slammed on a hop to Michael Russell, and he throws on the run to Cardullo at first base. That's the final out of the inning. So we'll hold that thought for later, but we'll come back to talking about defensive positioning later. We go to the bottom of inning number 4. The Long Island Ducks lead the High Point Rockers 3-1. This is High Point Rockers playoff baseball.
Time for the Crescent 4 Dizzy Bat Rays. Look over to the first base side and you'll find Brittany. Take it away, Brittany.
Thanks, Shane. Rocker fans, let me introduce you to tonight's Dizzy Bat contestants. We have friends Riley and Drew, and they're going to get geared up for tonight's Dizzy Bat contest. The first one to hype wins. Are you guys ready? On your mark, get set, spin. Put your head down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How are you guys feeling? 8, 9. You're cheating. Keep spinning. 10. All right, we're going to give it to Riley over here. Congratulations, you are tonight's Dizzy Bat contestant. You get a gift card to our Rockers Wear store.
Leading off for your High Point Rockers, the DH, number 8, Richie.
Bottom of the 4th, it'll be 5, 6, and 7 for the High Point Rockers. That's Richie Schaefer, Michael Russell, and Miles Schroeder, the 3 scheduled hitters. Game 2 of the Liberty Division Championship Series, in which the Long Island Ducks lead the series 1-0, and this ball game 3-1. Vin Mazzaro deals first pitch to Schaefer, fouls this one back to the screen, and the count 0-1. Schaefer, his first at-bat, reached on a base hit and advanced to second on a throwing error. That was the ball that hit off of Mazzaro, and Sanchez threw it away on the carom. That one misses, and the count is 1-1. Schaefer has scored the only run of the ball game for the Rockers so far. Here's the 1-1. Called a strike. I sure thought he checked his swing. But it's a strike, and the count is 1-2. Mazzaro deals this one, the 1-2. That's just inside. Almost thought it was about to clip Schaefer. But the count's even now 2-2. For a guy who spent most of the year in the bullpen, made his handful of starts with 10, but did spend the majority of the bullpen, or majority of the season in the bullpen, Ben Mazzaro's done a really nice job tonight. There is a foul ball off the bat of Schaefer. Looking at maybe some distances as far as what Ben Mazzaro can do. He has been a starter recently. In fact, he spent the beginning part of the year as in the bullpen, but has been starting since July 24th. Schaefer swings, fouls this one off. Count stays 2-2. So he should be pretty much stretched out and ready to go. We mentioned he's 11-4. The Long Island Ducks as a team have won 9 of Mazzaro's 10 starts this year. And here's the 2-2 to Schaefer. They're going to ring him up strike 3. He definitely didn't go around. I don't know where that pitch was, but Schaefer did not go around. Or if he did, they're not being lenient on the check swings anymore. I don't know. Wow. Not a whole lot to say on